both of you Muslim, and have very different ideas about whether this is appropriate for, firstly, Marks and Spencer's to be selling, and secondly, the fact that it's targeted at children as young as 9 years old. Khalid, why do you think that this is a problem?
Well, it's a problem, first of all, that Marks and Spencer should have social responsibility by understanding the issue. If they're selling something like this, they should actually understand what the history behind it at the moment is in terms of political debate.
Do you think it's oppressive?
It is oppressive, and what it does is sexualises girls as young as 9, but even younger, because there's a debate about young girls wearing at the age of primary school, and that really is not acceptable.
That's interesting because, of course, as I understand it, my limited knowledge, the hijab is about modesty, so it's the absolute opposite of sexualising.
No, well, it is, because exactly what you do is you sexualise. Modesty for a mature woman or somebody in their puberty is understandable, but for a young person, that shouldn't be an issue for them to consider, and it's not prescripted in any part of religion.
OK, Dr Bowman, what do you say to that argument? This is a fellow Muslim living in this country who believes that this is a big problem. Why do you think it's acceptable?
I totally disagree with him, actually. I think that Marks and Spencer's, they are a business. They are responding to the need of British Muslims and stocking what they think is required.
Why does a 9-year-old girl need to cover her hair from a modesty point of view? She's 9.
As far as the covering is concerned, there's a huge debate among Muslims as well. There is a majority opinion when girls are mature, and they mature at different ages, and they should...
9-year-old girls aren't mature, though, in any world.
My husband actually teaches. He's a head teacher in a school in Croydon called Al Khair, and they have scarves as part of the uniform, but the girls bring them in...
From what age?
It's a primary school, so there's a whole age range.
It's a primary school.
But,
so from the age of 3 or 4, they're wearing headscarves?
Well, let me finish at what they bring in scarves in their school bags, but they wear them for prayer, and the majority of the girls choose not to wear them the whole day long, and that's completely up to them. It's not forced upon them, but the fact is that they have it with them for the prayer time.
Right, so look, Khalid, there's a religious aspect to this, which if they're wearing it for prayer,
Piers,
would you find that more acceptable?
No, it is not a religious obligation at all. For prayers, you can do that, and yes, that's right. For girls as young as that, there is no religious obligation at all. And this is part of the debate that we're having at the moment.
But is that up for debate within the Muslim community? It seems to me that it is.
It is.
So you don't think it is, but you think that people of any age, if it's a religious conviction and their family believes strongly that through prayer they should wear this, they should be allowed to.
I think it's a choice, and I know I teach and lecture in Islamic studies. I teach people, and I've known girls who wear it, take it off. Those girls who haven't worn it, want to wear it. They're going through their own spiritual development. And I think we live in a diverse society.
Yeah, but...
we need to learn
Dr Amra, I would not presume, obviously, to know the Quran as well as you know the Quran. But as far as I know, hijab is a word that means barrier or partition, and it is about covering something which, you know, as a girl and develops into a woman, she doesn't want to be alluring to men outside of her family. To talk about primary school children in that context,
let me explain,
feels really wrong.
In the word hijab is become popular, but in fact in the Quran it's not used as for covering up for modesty. In the Quran describes covering up as a form of beauty, but the best form of beauty it describes is your taqwa, which is your inner consciousness of God and purity and sincerity. So modesty is a form of grace.
Here's my problem with this.
They could have done a better job. It's so stark the way
we had a debate recently about Muslim clothing, and my position was pretty strong with it, which is that, you know, in this enlightened age of feminism, if a woman wants to wear any of the Muslim clothing of any type, it's entirely her right to do so as a woman. However, they're making consenting decisions about their own choices as adult women. It gets more problematic if a young child of 7, 8, 9 is being instructed to do this. It ceases to be a personal choice and it becomes something that they're being told to do. And that is more problematic, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it is... the schools that the parents are sending their children to have different policies. There's a lot more Muslim children that go to state primary schools.
Yeah.
There are some Muslim schools, and different Muslim schools have different policies. And there is a freedom as well, and majority of the Muslim primary schools
But we don't let our children do everything out of freedom.
The real issue here is...
I think the debate is whether they should be selling it or not.
No, the debate is whether young girls should be wearing it at such an early age. And that's why Marks & Spencer should be selling it. They're getting to a social debate which they have no understanding of, and debate still continues.
Do you think that Marks & Spencer should withdraw this?
I think certainly they should withdraw
I don't think they should. I think
they should.
They should. Their marketing and their business.
This is about oppression of young girls, and what it does is puts them in a
just because
particular...
there's a market for something doesn't necessarily mean you should cater to that market. I mean, companies like Marks & Spencer
the young girls
should have a social responsibility. So the debate is an important one.
Yeah.
But what's interesting to me is you've got two leading members of the Muslim community in this country
with
who
influential
completely
voices.
disagree about this. And that's interesting. It means it's a debate that isn't necessarily resolved. And you would accept that a lot of Muslims don't share your view about it.
Of course.
Absolutely
Of course,
not.
and they have a right to do that. But I think the issue at the moment is going before Ofsted, and there are organisations like Mendu pushing for this, hasn't been finalised. And I think, therefore, Marks & Spencer should be jumping the gun.
OK, well, it's an interesting debate. Marks & Spencer said we provide bespoke uniforms for 250 schools across the country, and they tell us which items they need as part of their school uniform list. For a number of schools this year, they requested the option of the hijab. And I get where Marks & Spencer's come from there. They provide, as we always know, I had a Marks & Spencer uniform when I was a kid, right? If they're asked by the schools to provide it, they presumably presume there's not a problem.
But you think there's an oppression?
It's a social responsibility, and
But
that's what they should be looking at.
judgmental.
Yeah, it is being judgmental.
We're going to leave it there. But
you're being judgmental.
I think the point I make is I can see both sides of this argument.
We shouldn't be
And also, I have to say, being judgmental is sort of part of the show.
Yeah. Well, Susanna's very judgmental. Susanna's very judgmental. I'm much more relaxed about stuff.